Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Chanda Balava Girivardhari Gopi Chanda Balava Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Praja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Praja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Balava Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Praja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, here. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading today from the Srimad-bhagavatam, 8th Canto, Chapter 10 now. Actually we'll cover verses 1 through 6, because only 6 has a purport, a little purport. So this is verse number 1 here. Shri Shuka Uvacha Iti Dhanava Daiteya Navindanamritan Ripa Yukta Karmani Yathascha Vasudeva Paran Mukha Shri Shuka Uvacha Iti Danava Daiteya Navindam Amritang Ripa Yukta Karmani Yatascha Vasudeva Paranmukha Shri Shuka Uvacha Iti Danava Daiteya Navindam Amritang Nipa Yukta Karmani Yatascha Vasudeva Paranmukha Shri Shuka Uvacha Iti Danava Daiteya Navindam Amritang Nipa Yukta Karmani Yatascha Vasudeva Paranmukha Shri Shuka Uvacha Iti Danava Daiteya Navindam Amritang Nipa Yukta Karmani Yatascha Vasudeva Paranmukha. Word for word synonyms. Shri Shuka Uvacha Shri Shukadeva Goswami said, Iti thus Danava Daiteya, the Asuras and the demons, not Avindan, achieved the desired result. Amritam, nectar. Ripa, O king. Yuktaha, all being combined. Karmani, in the churning. Yata, engaged with full attention and effort. Cha, and Vasudeva, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Paranmukha, because of being non-devotees. Shukadeva Goswami said, O king, the demons and daityas all engaged with full attention and effort in churning the ocean. But because they were not devotees of Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, they were not able to drink the nectar. Repeat after me. Shukadeva Goswami said, O king, the demons and daityas, all engaged with full attention and effort in churning the ocean. But because they were not devotees of the Lord of Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, They were not able to drink the nectar.
They were not able to drink the nectar.
So much endeavor, but because they were demons, they could not get the real result. There was a summary of the summary of the chapter before this. So let's read that first, and then in the other few verses, and then there's a purport. The battle between the demigods and the demons. The summary of the chapter 10 is as follows. Because of envy, the fight between the demons and demigods continued. When the demigods were almost defeated by the demoniac maneuvers and became morose, Lord Vishnu appeared among them. Both the demigods and the demons are expert in activities involving the material energy. But the demigods are devotees of the Lord, whereas the demons are just the opposite. The demigods and demons churned the ocean of milk to get nectar from it. But the demons, not being devotees of the Lord, could derive no profit. After feeding nectar to the demigods, Lord Vishnu returned to his abode on the back of Garuda. But the demons, being most aggrieved, again declared war against the demigods. Bali Maharaj, the son of Virochana, became the commander-in-chief of the demons. In the beginning of the battle, the demigods prepared to defeat the demons. Indra, king of heaven, fought with Bali and other demigods like Vayu, Agni, and Varuna, fought against other leaders of the demons. In this fight, the demons were defeated, and to save themselves from death, they began to manifest many illusions through material maneuvers, killing many soldiers on the side of the demigods. The demigods, finding no other resource, surrendered again to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, who then appeared and counteracted all the illusions presented by the jugglery of the demons. Heroes among the demons, such as Kalanemi, Mali, Sumati, and Malayavan, fought the Supreme Personality of Godhead and were all killed by the Lord. The demigods were thus freed from all dangers. And we just read number 1. So we'll read the next few translations. O King, after the Supreme Personality of Godhead had brought to completion the affairs of churning the ocean and feeding the nectar to the demigods, who are his dear devotees, he left the presence of them all and was carried by Garuda to his own abode. Seeing the victory of the demigods, the demons became intolerant of their superior opulence. Thus they began to march toward the demigods with raised weapons. Thereafter, being enlivened because of drinking the nectar, the demigods, who are always at the shelter of the lotus feet of Narayan, use their various weapons to counterattack the demons in a fighting spirit. O King, a fierce battle on the beach of the ocean of milk ensued because between the demigods and demons. The fighting was so terrible that since hearing about it, fighting was so terrible that simply hearing about it would make the hair on one's body stand up on end. And then number 6, both parties in the fight were extremely angry at heart, and with enmity they beat one another with swords, arrows, and varieties of other welcome. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The first verse. No, actually, we're reading 6 now. The 8th canto, 10th chapter. We're starting, and the first verse that has any purport is number 6. So we just read 1 through 5, and now we're reading 6 in the purport. So 6th translation. Both parties in the fight were extremely angry at heart, and in enmity they beat one another with swords, arrows, and varieties of other weapons. Purport. There are always two kinds of men in this universe, not only on this planet, but also in higher planetary systems. All the kings dominating planets like the sun and moon also have enemies like Rahu. It is because of occasional attacks upon the sun and moon by Rahu that eclipses take place. The fighting between the demons and the demigods is perpetual. It cannot be stopped unless intelligent persons from both sides take to Krishna consciousness. So, this is the Srimad-bhagavatam. There is a practical book. There's so many histories here, but these histories are given to us so that we can learn, so we can become Krishna conscious. So Srila Prabhupada is saying there's in the material world there are always devotees, some devotees, and there's always those of demoniac mentality, and there will always be differences between the devotees and the non-devotees. It's part of the material world. It'll be there. But even in the higher planetary systems, Srila Prabhupada is explaining, even when there's the highest planetary systems where the lifespan is so long, the sense gratification is so good, the body itself is nice in so many ways, but even there's problems. Srila Prabhupada actually makes a comparison. He says, just like in this world, if you're living, say on this planet, say you're living a few miles from here, and there's like ghetto area, means low class. Economically low class. I'm not talking about the people particularly, but the economy is low. The standard of living, pleasures in life are low, so on like that. And so such people, if they hear, or if they think about the rich people that have their 10 million or 60 million or $100 million houses somewhere, and so much facility for sense gratification, they may think, oh, if I had that, then I would be happy. Like that. And the same way, in Vedic culture, people had whatever they had, but they knew of higher planets, Vedic culture. They knew of higher planets. They knew that you could perform sacrifices, you could worship the demigods, you could do different things, and elevate yourself to the higher, the heavenly planets. And the lifespan on the heavenly planets is, well, it's very long compared to what we're accustomed to here. Uh, on the moon and many planets, um, 12 hours is 12 hours of their time is about 6 months of our time here, and they live for so many thousands of years. So, someone who's aware of this, they think, oh, I'm suffering here, but if I could just elevate myself to the heavenly planets, then I will enjoy it. I'll live a long time. I'll have a nice body. It's not causing so much problem. A lot of facility for sense gratification, but and nothing to worry about. They may think, but Srila Prabhupada, Krishna says, from the highest planet, Abrahma Bhuvanaloka Punar Arvatina Vihara Jagannath Balaram Lady Subhadra Punshigane. Huh? Let's do the class first. We ask questions after. Yeah. So in Vedic time, she'll probably give the example that just like on this planet, you have poor people, and then they may look at the rich people, and they're thinking, if I was rich, I'd be very happy. I would have no problems. But if you're among the rich people, there's so much anxiety, and you have a lot of money, then everyone wants your money. For you're afraid of, sometimes you're afraid of somebody killing you to get your money. The constant conflict like that. So that's on this planet. So Srila Prabhupada says the same way. Someone might think, oh, let me elevate myself to the heavenly planets. And on the heavenly planets, so much enjoyment, such long lifespan, nice material body that is very minimal disease. Even if there is birth and there's death and some physical problems, but not like here. So someone might think, oh, that would be very nice, and they can actually go to the heavenly planets following the process. But on the heavenly planets, as we're reading here, we have all these demigods, but they're a problem because they're demons who are coming from other planets, the hellish planets. They are coming and attacking the demigods. They're trying to take away their heavenly kingdoms, their nice houses, all their facility, and that's where there's so much conflict on constantly. So we shouldn't, either in this lifetime, on this planet, or in the future lifetimes, we should not plan on trying to go up to the heavenly planets. It's a waste of time, and we've been there anyway. We may not remember it, but for sure we've been there. We've been in the material world for unlimited amounts of time. We cannot even calculate how long we've been here, and we've been to the highest planet, we've been to the lowest position, and back and forth many times. So if we have a little faith, and we can accept that on the basis of some faith, and become Krishna conscious, then then we can go back to the spiritual world where there's no more birth, there's no more death, no more disease, no more old age, and basically no more problems. Spiritual world means that your only desire is to serve Krishna and please Krishna, and anything you desire in the spiritual world to please Krishna it's just given to you. It's immediately. Srila Prabhupada said that in the material world, everything is difficult. Everything. Even to maintain this body, we eat. Sometimes we're sick. Sometimes we get teeth problems. Sometimes we get so many problems. Sometimes I'm using these computers and things for these classes, but sometimes they give me a lot of difficulty. Things don't work right. So material world, everything is difficult. Everything material is just difficult. But in the spiritual world, everything comes very easily. It's all for pleasure. The spiritual world means that we are there as pure devotees of Krishna. Krishna is there, and we are, and he fulfills all our desires as far as how we like to serve him. He said that when Krishna was present in Vrindavan, even the summer, which normally would be very hot, was just like spring, because Krishna was present. Spring is it's warm, it's comfortable, it's not too hot, not too cold. So that's how it was when Krishna was present, and Vrindavan was full of his pure devotees. So what we learn from these stories is don't make the same mistake that the demigods and the demons both made. They made so much endeavor for this nectar, so much endeavor. Can you imagine trying an ocean? The demigods and demons in the previous chapter had worked very hard to carry a whole mountain. Can you imagine carrying a mountain, putting it in place, and then that mountain, Mandira mountain, sunk when they put it down in the water, because mountains don't usually float. And then Krishna helped because he appeared as the Kurma incarnation, the turtle, big 800,000 mile wide turtle. So he stayed there in the water, and the mountain was put on his back and churned, and they had no way to churn. Churn means there's a rope, so they used a big snake, Vasuki, as a snake, like a rope, back and forth and back and forth. So much endeavor. I don't know how long they were churning, but they churned for some time, and so much endeavor was made to get nectar so that they would not die. Like that. But in the spiritual world, there's no fear of death. There's no fear of death because you don't die. Spiritual world means there's no mode of passion, trying to do things for your personal sense gratification. There's no mode of ignorance for sure, which is basically forgetfulness of God. There's only pure goodness. So passion means just like Lord Brahma, he's the qualitative incarnation for the mode of passion. And what does he do? He creates the entire universe under Krishna's direction. And Lord Shiva is the qualitative incarnation for the mode of ignorance. And one of his services, one of his functions, is at the end of the universe, he destroys everything. So creation and destruction. But in the spiritual world, there is no mode of good, no mode of passion. There's no mode of ignorance, and it's all goodness. So goodness means it is mode of goodness means there's no birth, no death, no disease, no old age. Because creation includes birth, and destruction includes death. And the spiritual world is pure goodness, like that. And therefore the people, the living entities, in whatever form they or we, when we get there, have that they are happy, no fear of death, no fear of no problems of what comes with old age, no difficulties at all. Simply engaged in the Lord's enjoying, very happily engaged in the Lord's devotional service. That's what the spiritual world is for, and that's what they want. And Srila Prabhupada says that, and then Rahu, Srila Prabhupada mentions, Rahu causes the eclipses. I mentioned this the other day for those who were here. Sometimes there's a solar eclipse, and the sun gets blocked by scientists say by the moon, but actually it's not by the moon. It's actually Rahu. Rahu is going in front of the sun. Rahu is closer, but you can't see Rahu in the sky because it does not reflect any light. It's something that if there's no light, then there's no reflection. If there's no reflection, then then you actually can't see it. So Rahu is a dark planet, completely dark. No reflection at all on that planet. But anyway, Rahu blocks the sun, and the moon, which modern science says that the moon is actually blocking the sun, but Vedas say the moon is farther away, behind the sun. So when Rahu is going in front, the moon is going behind. This is an eclipse. They line up like that. So it appears, you assume, that the moon is blocking the sun, but actually it's Rahu that is blocking. But anyway, the point is that even if you're the sun god or you're the moon god, which the sun and moon are heavenly planets themselves, but they are being disturbed by this demon called Rahu. I think we're close to the end that I can speak. Any questions, comments?
How many miles distance Rahu planet?
How far away is Rahu from here? I don't know. It's in Srimad-bhagavatam. I could find out. I know the sun is basically what scientists say, about 93 million miles. And I know the moon is, I can't remember, it's either 800,000 or 1,600,000 miles after the sun. I'll check. I'll let you know. It's in 5th Canto.
Srimad-bhagavatam and its Canto,
It's in the answer to your question is in number 5 Canto. Yes. There's a lot of information about the universe there. It's 5th Canto. But I can find it, and you can also look it up. But I'll find out because I want to know too.
Question. These pastimes,
Microphone. So our
Hare Krishna 24 plus, 24 wonders of plus. And my question is, these pastimes, like demons and demigods, that fully range Krishna, and these pastimes for satisfaction Krishna. How this is going on?
I'm not understanding your question. Say again. What about the pastimes?
These pastimes, demons and demigods,
Yes.
and who like because this like Krishna arranged these pastimes.
Um, ye- well, the fighting goes on anyway between demigods and demons. But uh, yes, the demigods are depending on Krishna, and Krishna is helping. But what is arranged is that there are many, many, many things going on in the universe that we don't know about. But Srila Vyasadeva, the compiler of the Vedas, he he chose certain ones to put together in Srimad-bhagavatam. Not every detail about everything that goes on in the universe, but certain ones that involve Krishna or Vishnu, uh, and that's so that we can to help us to become Krishna conscious by hearing these histories. Um, so
Yeah, and these pastimes like arranged by ideas or real Krishna and for satisfaction Krishna.
yeah, so some just like some demon, just like demons. I mean, well, I don't know about all the demons, but the big demons that Krishna personally fights with, they're actually his devotees.
Demons also do.
Well, for example, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, they were huge demons. But Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha were actually Jai and Vijay, who were gatekeepers in the spiritual world. And there was some arrangement, ultimately by Krishna. Krishna likes to fight sometimes too, but he's not gonna fight with any real demon. Uh, he'll fight with he'll ask one of his devotees to, to act in that way. So these two gatekeepers, Jai and Vijay, they're called. There was some circumstance that caused them to create some offense, and then they were told, okay, now you have to pay for your offense. So the Lord says, you can take birth in the material world 3 times as demons, my enemies, or you can take birth as 7 times as my devotees. But they understood, Krishna wants to fight, and we want to go back. We want to get back to our post in the gatekeepers in the spiritual world. So they agreed that we will take 3 births as demons, like that. And of course, in the end, they all went back to the spiritual world. But the interesting thing, and I had to see where I read it, but it was in Srimad-bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada mentions in a purport that Hiranyakashipu, for example, and these big demons, they're acting very expertly, acting as big, powerful demons. Nobody would guess who they were. But inside, they're still devotees, but they're acting as demons to play with Krishna. Krishna wants to fight. He wants to enjoy fighting. So, but inside, they're actually chanting Hare Krishna. They're actually chanting Hare Krishna. They're um, They're remembering Krishna. They're tolerating their situation to give pleasure for Krishna, like that. So Srila Prabhupada mentions that specifically in some case in the Srimad-bhagavatam. So, does that answer the question? The question? The question? And no questions online, I don't think.
I thought that like these demons, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaka,
Huh.
there was four defeated in Vedic scripture.
Yes, they were.
There was like the no mantras, yagas, and they're so smart, but they don't like Krishna. They don't like Krishna.
Yeah, they were demons. They were envious of God. They could not tolerate Hiranyakashipu when he heard that Prahlad Maharaj's son was talking about God. He said, "I'm going to kill this boy. My son, appreciating God, glorifying God, telling others to serve God." Then he tried to kill him. He couldn't tolerate it because of it. Because of that. Yes. Okay, so let's end here. Tomorrow is Sunday. Tomorrow we read Chaitanya Charitamrita. We're still on the chapter, I think, of chapter 1 about the spiritual master. Adi Lila, chapter 1.